Vic Mensa. I'm here. Um, I'm here speaking, you know what I'm saying, in collaboration with the Mental Health Coalition. Uh, it's a beautiful initiative that my good friend Kenneth Cole has put together. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, actually. And so every day in May, there's going to be artists, um, actors, creative people speaking and being real about mental health on this page, on the Mental Health Coalition. It's called 121. Everyone needs to talk to someone.
What's up? How you doing?
Hello. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Chilling today.
Where you at?
Today's a good day.
I swear it is. You in LA?
I'm in LA. Yeah, I just got here last night.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. I'm in Chicago right now.
You're in Chicago?
I was just listening to Temporary right before I started this up. So dope.
Really?
Yeah,
Thanks.
so
Thanks.
dope. I think that'd be a place where, that it made me think about some things, just like the when you said feelings are temporary, you know, and I feel like um, anxiety, depression, they intertwine, and it's so easy to feel in the moment like you're gonna be in this stuck place forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
that, and the moment that you do realize though that those things are temporary, it helps you to regain so much power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely on the regaining of power. It's the most important part.
Yeah, man. I was talking to Kenneth Cole right before I did this, and he was like, "Yeah, the more vulnerable you are, the better it'll be." And so I was thinking, because I'm a person that, just my mental health has always been full of highs and lows,
It's
and
the flow of life, man.
I swear to God it is. And
Ebbs
I've
and flows like the ocean.
going through it since I was a kid, since I was like 15 is when I first realized something was going on, and I went to, see like some psychiatrists, and they're like, you have generalized anxiety, and start taking medication and stop taking medication and start again, and I wanted to ask you, um, what are some of the things that help you to cope with your anxiety?
Well, it's funny you asked that. So it depends on the day. Sometimes I choose unhealthy coping mechanisms, and other days I choose healthy coping mechanisms. I'm gonna be straight up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because I could sit here and say my only coping mechanism is to breathe, but that's
Just
not true.
breathing exercise.
You know what I mean? No, but for real, actually, breathing has been helping me a lot lately. Whenever I start getting that like tightening feeling in my chest, or like the knot in my stomach, because that's kind of what it feels like to me, is like there's like a weight on my chest, and like I can't like take a full breath. So I just kind of encourage myself to do that even more. So I'll sit there now, and like it's this new technique that I came across. It's like, it's not new, but like it's new to me. It's like you just take a deep breath for 8 counts, and then you hold it for 4 counts, and then you let it go 8 counts. And like that counting and that
Yeah, I like
intentional
that.
breathing really genuinely calms me down. I try to do like 10 breaths. But then I notice, like, as I'm trying to do the 10, like I'll kind of automatically relax, and my mind will go somewhere else all of a sudden. And then I'll be like, oh shit, I didn't even get to 10 breaths, and I feel so much better. Like it's actually been helping me a lot lately. So.
That's dope. There's this breathing exercise that a friend of mine taught me, where you breathe fast breaths into your abdomen, and it's like 30, you know what I mean, really quick
Like Wim Hof?
breaths. Yeah, it's like 30 really quick breaths, and then on the 30th breath, you hold it for as long as you can. You know what I'm saying? And it helps for me, it kind of like, it'll help in the middle of a meditation, or if I'm feeling overwhelmed, just to still things for a second, kind of like that skydiving moment when you hit the parachute. Um,
100%.
it's all about
And
your
it's like a
breath, though.
gradual
hmm
glide down.
It's all about your breath, though. I'm the
Yeah,
same
I
way,
actually mention that in Temporary in the second verse in Spanish. Like that's what I'm talking
I
about. Like,
was gonna ask you what you were saying because I was like, I feel like
I
she's
should say
probably in
something.
the she's saying some words.
Okay, so I I'm saying tuve que abrir mis ojos los tres, right? So I had to open my eyes, all three of them, because this one
Okay,
I had to open this one.
yeah, that was important.
You know what I mean? Inhalar profundamente, contar hasta 10, exhalar, right? So inhale real deep, count to 10,
Oh, I love
exhale.
that. Yo, that's dope.
And then there's the sound of the breath. And then it says, para quitar este peso del estrés, which means like to take off this weight of the weight that I have of the stress. Like I just said, I feel like that weight on my chest. Para quitar ese peso del estrés. And then, y cuando entran las dudas que me hacen mal y me hacen olvidar, right? So it's, and so when the doubt comes in, when those doubts come in, dudas que me hacen mal. So me hacen mal means like they're bad for me, and they make me forget that my power is mine. I smile because I remember that it's all temporary.
Ah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so those words are so
About confidence.
relevant to me today and just over the last few days. You know what I'm saying? I find that oftentimes my anxiety and depression, they manifest themselves most potently in the morning. That's why I try to stack things in the morning, like I'm boxing one day or I'm lifting another day, because if I'm left to my own devices, I know that the morning can be tough for me, and
So
the other,
exercise helps you then, like to release endorphins and to like
it
channel
does
your anxiety. It helps me too. I've been working out more
100%.
regularly lately, and that's helped me a lot actually. Like, because when I'm
Oh,
feeling out of
for
it,
real.
having the motivation to at least show up for myself in that way, whatever amount of time I do, even if it's 20 minutes and not necessarily like a full hour, like just showing up for myself like that and sweating it out and like letting those endorphins naturally come out of me, like that helps me a lot.
I feel like it's all about showing up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, that's
like
self-care shit.
the day that I was thinking about, like 2 days ago, and I was glued. I was glued to the bed. I'm thinking about probably every mistake I ever made. I'm like,
Hello, it's me, the overthinker.
and so I was like, okay, yeah, now I'm depressed. I felt like I was cool the day before, and then that day I was like, okay, I'm depressed today. I feel a lot of anxiety. I feel depression today. I deal with these things, and I just had a thought, um, that also it is it's good to be honest about those things. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I've been in the past and still, in the present, I've been predisposed to how are you? Everything's good.
I'm
To
good. I'm
be
so
like, oh
good.
yeah, I'm great. How you? Yeah, I'm good.
How are
Everything.
you?
I'm blessed, right? Because I am,
Yeah, no,
but
we are. Let's not get it
you're
twisted. We are.
blessed in all moments. You know what I'm saying? But um, yeah, I find that the being vulnerable and being honest and telling people, what's going on with you. Not that you want to tell the whole world, you know what I'm saying? But being able to like to not hide, you know, can be can be so powerful, and I think that helps to contextualize emotions and feelings and thoughts as being temporary. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Even like holding space for like when you do feel anxiety and depression, like even diving a little further, right? So like I feel depressed and I feel anxious, right? So then what are like, because there's such a wide range of feelings and emotions, like the whole list of things that we could be feeling um I don't know, like there's like something lacking in there, you know what I'm saying? Usually when the depression comes or when the anxiety comes, at least for me, it's because I'm holding back from doing something that I need to do for myself. You know what I'm saying? Or
Right.
like holding off on having the important conversations that I need to be having that are like dwelling in the back of my mind. Or like I'm not really being 100% honest with myself about how I feel about something or a circumstance or a person or a relationship that I'm involved with. Even if that
Hmm.
relationship is with myself. So like sitting there with the feeling of depression, yes, but also kind of interrogating it a little bit, like asking it a question, like asking a harder question, being like, okay, yes, you're depressed, but like, why are we depressed? Like, what are the
Right.
things that have triggered us? What are the things, what are the feelings that are coming up? Like, is it unworthiness? Is it insecurity? Is it that I don't feel safe right now? Is it that someone has brought up an insecurity of mine that actually really hurts and I'm trying to like play it off, and that bearing of it is causing me to feel anxious? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I recently had like this crazy thing, random thing happen to me that just like really triggered me, and I tried to avoid the fact that it had triggered me for a while, and then I like it was building up inside of me, not having addressed that, like that made me feel it made me revert back to like a hurt inner child of like feeling unworthy, you know what I mean, and not deserving of what I do for a living, right? Like, or not deserving of like the way that I to feel good about myself and like confident in my art, you know what I'm saying? Which is like one of my biggest insecurities is like when someone has something to say about my art and like it's not positive, I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. Like
That's the insecurity of being an artist, though, because I'm to
I'm
the
so
point where
sensitive,
like
man. I'm so
I'm so
sensitive.
sensitive. I don't read nothing. I don't read no comments, no reviews. Like, you know, I
No,
went
fuck
through
all
a
of it. I don't watch
and
shit back. If I
people
do it,
sent
I
no, I
send
don't
it to the
watch
world.
nothing back. You know, people
I
send
don't
me
want to know.
reviews. They sent me a review the other day, like, you know, my rep from my label, shout out to Nadine, great woman, sent me a review. I'm like, okay, it's probably a good review. You know, she sent it to me. It's good. And then in there it says something about, you know, and then I don't know why he put this cliche song in there, and I was like, I quit.
I quit. I can't believe someone thinks I'm cliche. I can't.
I was like, I quit, man. I can't. And you know, but honestly though, that stuff is very triggering for me though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I find that like internet, social media, that there's so much triggering
So
there.
many opinions. It's like motherfuckers have
So
so
many.
many opinions. And I'm like,
Wow, too
do you
many.
need to be talking right now? Did you have to say that to me? Like, I'm okay.
Too many motherfucking opinions. That's why I like, you know, it's
That's a
good
song
to
for
be able
you.
to. I swear to God, I got a tattoo of it. God damn it,
Oh,
tired of it.
cancel them.
Let them go. You know, social media detox sometimes is necessary. You know, and that's a thin line as an artist too, because
Have you done those? Have you ever done like a successful social media detox?
I did it for 2 days.
Yeah, I did it for 2 months one time, man. I actually
Really?
3 months. I did no Twitter and no Instagram. I would just have my assistant
Actually,
post for me if I felt like posting something.
I did do that. I was off Instagram for like 6 months, but I was low key still on that. Still
Right?
on that. I was
Yeah,
there,
no,
but
mine
I
was
was like,
off. I deleted mine
yeah,
off my phone, and I
yeah,
literally wasn't on it. And that shit, that was honestly some of the best 3 months of my life. I had so many adventures with myself, and like
you know, that sounds
I
so
forgot
fire.
about the fact that everybody's in everybody's business all the time. It
Yeah,
was
that
nice.
sounds so fire. I'm gonna bring
Yeah.
Dr. Luana on here for a couple minutes.
Hello.
Hi, you guys are amazing. I was feeling the vulnerability and the ability to connect together. Everybody needs somebody, and this is so powerful. I was just so amazed of what you guys are talking about.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to join us.
We're some self-aware little babies.
No,
We
I
try to.
loved it. You're both talking about something that I think would be really helpful for all of us to think about a little bit. You both talked about being triggered, right? When something
Mm,
hits, either you're like something in the news or somebody is talking about your music, and then what happens is our brain goes on fight or flight, right? The fear part of our brain turns on, and then something happens to all of us. We start spinning, right? And we're like, what are they saying? And then you start to feel anxious. And then Lauren, you talked about sort of like wanting to avoid it, right? I just don't want to deal with
I
that.
run away from that shit so hard, dude. I literally.
Yeah. And you
She's
feel,
a runner. She's a track star. Like energy.
and it feels good momentarily. The problem is that you're stuck, right?
Yeah.
It's spinning.
Yeah, for a moment, and then I'm like, damn, I'm spiraling and like really not acknowledging this.
That's it.
And then
What's the
episode.
science like on the triggers, Dr. Luana? Like, what's happening in our brain when we're being triggered?
Vic, that's a great question. So let's start by calling, instead of mental health, brain health, right? What happens to the brain? So when we trigger the old brain, the limbic system, supposed to make us fight, flight, or free, turns on immediately. Any kind of danger. When that happens, our thinking brain shuts off. Your stomach gets upset. You get tense. You start to sweat. You're ready to fight. That's what's happening. And in that point, we can't actually think, right? We only feel, and it's really important to cool off the brain in that moment because we're working out of fear instead of the ability to face it and fight it.
And so you said it's the limbic system that's being activated.
That's exactly right.
And so we want to get back to the parasympathetic nervous system, right?
Correct.
And so how is that done?
So a couple of tricks here. That's a good question. So a couple of tricks. You know, we think often about when I'm spinning, think about thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Okay. What am I saying to myself? How do I feel? What do I want to do? And as much as you can, you want to slow down your brain. So if you feel like you're spinning too much, I think Lauren talked about this, taking a breath and doing mindfulness, anchoring the present moment, unplugging for as many things as possible to allow your brain to understand that perhaps in that moment it's a false alarm, that nothing really bad is going to happen, to try to turn on your thinking brain again. It might take a little bit, right? Yeah. The important thing is not to react in that moment.
Yeah. Self-soothing also helps, like talking to myself. I know that might sound crazy, but like when I talk out loud to myself and I'm like, Lauren, it's okay. Like, this is not something that you need to be worried about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of like talk to myself like I'm talking to my inner child, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, just kind of like relaxing her and reminding her that she's like safe, you know? Like, that I'm going to protect her. I'm not going to like violate her, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Lauren, because when you're talking to yourself, you're working through your thinking brain and you're self-soothing and you're trying to say, listen, let's look at what's going on here. What's the evidence here, right? I'm okay right now.
Exactly. It's a presenting of evidence. That's why journaling helps me too, because it's the same kind of vibe. It's like you're like writing down the evidence of what you're feeling. And like transmuting that through a pen for me anyway, like that's why I love fucking music, man. Because
your journal is fire.
Thank you. Fire. Yeah, Vic's seen my journal.
So dope.
No, but Lauren, you're right on. There's actually science behind what you're talking about. Writing turns on your thinking brain, calms down the limbic system.
Right, because like
wow, really?
You're right.
Yeah.
You have to literally activate that side of the brain, right?
Yeah, and both parts of the brain can be on at the same strength. So when you're starting to write, it's your thinking brain, it's your prefrontal cortex. And so then it calms you down. So you're doing science without even knowing. Look at that.
Look at me, I'm a scientist.
Maybe Dr. Luana, could you, in parting, just like give us a few more tools that can be used to calm the limbic system, and maybe let us know about, and let the people that are tuned in know about some of the resources that exist for people that deal with anxiety, depression, and other mental health afflictions.
Absolutely. So the first one is this. Thoughts are not facts. When we're saying things to ourselves, they're negative and we're spinning. Thoughts are not facts.
That should be like a golden rule nugget.
It really is important, right? Second, emotions are valid, but they're not always accurate. So when you're spinning, your emotions are usually not totally accurate. 3, count on your friends. You guys are doing it beautifully here. We know that social support is the best buffer against mental illness. So whenever it's spinning, go for somebody that's your safe haven. That really helps. And if you need more resources, we have a free course, Mental Health for All, that you can find on my website, drluana.com.
Amazing.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
It's a pleasure. It's great to be here with you guys.